Greetings, salutations. Greetings and salutations. I am late. Yes, we know it. We know it. Who's surprised? Who's surprised? Bum 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 bum. Yes, I leave. Greetings, salutations. Yeah, you know what time it is. Um, I'm TNathan, and I'm late, and you're listening to Conversations with TNathan. Dun, 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 dun. Oh man, yeah, looking for something, and so I'm late. Sue me. How's everybody doing tonight? Come on in, come on in. All in, all in. As we get situated here. Yeah. Greetings, salutations. Check in, check in. Greetings, salutations. Greetings and salutations. Greetings and salutations. Dun, dun, dun. My package is not here. It has not been delivered to the address it's supposed to be delivered. Greetings, salutations. Take your time. Get your snacks together. What's up, Robert? Take your time. Get your snacks together. You get caught up, everybody. Um, Somebody tell me how on time I am. Greetings, greetings, greetings. 6 minutes? Oh man. Greetings, GCPR. Greetings, greetings. I see you on YouTube. Don't see you live on TikTok. Yes, I am live on TikTok also, nephew. I am live. I'm already here and got the first likes in. Yeah, y'all get it up, cause gonna be a heavy discussion. Cause we're going to talk about some events unfolding. Oh, gonna talk about some. What's up, big bro? Yes, I am. I get the link ASAP. All right, I'm going to open. If you know him, Young Merc Fire, my little brother, he has some new music out, and we will be spotlighting it this week. I would have spotlighted earlier, but I was late. But I was late. Um, I just got the link from him. He has some new music dropping. We're gonna spotlight it this week. I see Thomas is still anti-bippity. Oh, because I was probably busy all day. I didn't have a time to talk to him. You got to fill me in on how did this how did this anti-bippity get into existence, right? We'll talk about that later. Because I feel lost. I feel lost. So we're going to check on everybody. Say they got blocked for saying they couldn't hear the mom. Huh? What did I miss? I had a couple of people come into the stream earlier, and they ended up getting blocked. Say they got blocked for saying they couldn't hear the mom. What did I miss? Good. Yeah, I think I missed something there. Um, okay, I caught your Young Merch post earlier, and it's fire. Yeah, I got some. Like I said, I got some of his music. I was gonna spotlight it earlier, but I was running late when I got the link. So um, Uh, only disrespect was blocked. Yeah, only disrespect was blocked. I, they'll get over it. Because if the door Melage says they block somebody for disrespect, I'm not going to argue with the door Melage. Um, you heard what he said. All right, so we're going to talk about a situation that is unfolding in Phoenix, Arizona. Well, Phoenix police. Um, Phoenix police attacked this individual named Tyron McAlpin, and we're gonna get into why they attacked him and everything else because I'm gonna show the body cam footage. Body cam footage just released. This incident happened on August 19th, 2024. This over the summer, and they're just releasing the body cam footage. And I want you to understand when you see the body cam footage, I want you to keep in mind that they actually had a preliminary hearing and they wind up charging this young man who has cerebral palsy and is deaf. And hold on, um, hold on, yeah, because we can do this. We can do this, right? So before I get into that, let's see if my little brother answered the phone, right?
What's up, big bro?
What's up, young Merc Fire? You're on the podcast with me. Say hello.
Everybody feeling?
Man, I was just telling them about your new music, and I was gonna spotlight it tonight, but I was running late because I'm black, and I just got the link. I just got the link, so I'm gonna spotlight you all week. And I was just telling them, right, that's the little bruh. And what I heard, the ones I heard, like I heard the little minute version. I think, no, I need the whole thing. I need
Oh,
the whole thing, right?
oh yeah, yeah. Go get all that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I hope y'all feel what I was putting down on this one. It's 8 tracks, and in my opinion, there ain't no reason to hit that skip button. Just play it and let it ride
just
through.
let it ride. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Intro from the intro to the end, huh?
Yeah, intro to the outro, man. Yeah, for
Good, because I'm also going to upload them all to the radio station. Also, I'm gonna upload them
uh,
all to the radio station. So we can't pay you, but we'll put you in rotation. You know, I got you, little brother. All right. Thanks for joining us, and we got you. We got you.
all right, man.
All right. All right. Peace. All right. Grandmother has entered the chat. Greetings, salutations, grandmother. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Well, how you feeling, grandmother? Grandmother, you feeling better? I know you were in some pain earlier. Did you feel better? Greeting. I see you, Petra. Where are you on X? Petra, you on X? All right. Petra on X. Jazzy not here yet. I see Jay has come in. I see. All right. Good. Y'all send my grandmother some positive universal energy. Um, she was in a little pain earlier, but good. The medication has kicked in, and yeah, I'll just do that for me. All right. Now back to the situation we're going to discuss tonight involving Tyron. Tyron. T-Y-N. McAlpin. And like I say, he's 34 years old in Phoenix. Case of police brutality. Um, and we're going to I'm gonna play a news report first. Then we're going to I come back to TikTok volume on X is low. All right, testing one two three. How's my volume over here? I don't know. I think it's just something with TikTok because my filters are fine. My playback is loud, but all right, we'll work it out. We'll work it out. I'm going to play this news interview. I'm gonna play the news interview. Then we're going to look at the body cam footage, and then we're going to look at the interview, the follow up interview. Understand this is going to be this is going to be I don't usually do trigger warnings, but the intersectionality of unarmed black man, police brutality, and he's a he's disabled, cerebral palsy, and deaf. So prepare yourself. What you're about to see is going to be painful, and I want you all prepared. Let's get it. Before I transition over there, let me move this out the way. All right, don't want all that in the way. And let's transition over. And like I say, I warn you, these videos are going to be horrible. This one is 7 minutes, and it's going to be the news interview introducing you. Then we're going to go to the body cam footage, which can also be found on my the full body cam footage you can find on my YouTube channel. Let's get it. Hold tight. Hold tight. I already know. I don't see the bars moving, so let me switch over. Yep, that's what I thought. Switching over. Dun, dun, dun.
That's intense and difficult to watch. First tonight, this is video of Phoenix police arresting a black man who's deaf and has cerebral palsy. That arrest is violent, and in this story, we're going to show you close body camera footage that's intense and difficult to watch, so please consider this your warning.
It happened late this summer, and that means it happened after the Department of Justice released its historic and severe report against Phoenix PD. Here's ABC 15 Chief Investigator Dave Biscobig.
Yeah, we reached out to Phoenix police about this arrest, but they aren't saying much about it. They only confirmed it's now under internal investigation. But this case raises a lot of questions, and it really serves as sort of a test case. And that's both for Phoenix and the DOJ. See, Phoenix is trying to prove it doesn't need federal oversight. But will the DOJ trust the city when things like this continue to happen? You've seen the surveillance video. A Phoenix officer pulling into a parking lot, pulling in front of a man, darting out of his truck, then immediately going after him. Now this is the body camera footage.
Everybody stop where you're at.
Remember, the man is deaf and has cerebral palsy.
Let's see. Tase him, tase him, tase him. Get your hands behind your back. Get your hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. Get your hands behind your back. Hold them. Move, move. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. Ultra X-ray taser deploy more units. Hand behind your back. Hand behind your back. One more. Hand behind your back! More! Hand behind your back! Hand behind your back!
Between the two officers, the man is punched at least 10 times and tasered 4 times.
Okay.
He can't understand them, and he's deaf and he's physically compromised. The entire thing is just outrageous.
That's Jesse Showalter. He agreed to watch the video with us, and that's because he's an attorney for Tyrone McAlpin. Together, they're planning to bring an excessive force lawsuit against the Phoenix Police Department.
12 years she's lived here.
But before we get into that, first let's get into why officers went after Tyrone.
Now, pay special attention to this part, right? The racial implications in this are not implications. They're literally slapping you over the head with it. And like I say, we're going to watch, this isn't even the complete body cam footage. We're going to watch the complete body cam footage, which includes all this. This is just a summary. So when you're watching the body cam footage, you understand where we are.
When we look at the body camera that we've seen so far, what it shows is that Circle K employees had a Caucasian male in the store causing problems, and they called the police to trespass this person who wouldn't leave.
Hey, you guys just want this guy to trespass? Okay.
And when police arrive, they don't do any investigation to find out what this guy was doing in the store. Instead, they talk to the guy, and he claims that he was assaulted and points to somebody in the street that he claims did it.
The guy pointed at Tyrone, who was across the street.
We're saying that's the guy that assaulted
right there. With the backwards head on, yep.
I mean, so we have a situation where the officers respond. Some white guy says, hey, no, some black guy assaulted me, and they just drop what they're doing and head right over there.
That's what the video shows.
He was standing outside the door opening and saying,
that dude.
Why didn't you wait here first?
The black guy?
Yeah.
And that takes us back to this point.
Let's see.
And this police officer, out of the gate, assaults him, and then uses Tyrone's attempts to protect himself to try to justify felony charges.
Officials charged Tyrone with aggravated assault and resisting arrest. In their reports, officers wrote Tyrone tried to walk away from them, took a fighting stance, threw repeated punches at them, and bit one of them.
Everything that I see in that video, as well as the other officer's body camera, looks like Tyrone's just trying to avoid being harmed by these officers. And that only makes them escalate the situation and increase the degree of violence that they're using.
One of the officers says Tyrone bit him. I mean, how do you respond to that?
Tyrone was face down on the ground with two officers striking and choking him, and that the only way that Tyrone could have possibly bit anybody on the hand or wrist is if one of those officers placed their hand or wrist in his mouth. And what it looks like from the video is that the officer who claims he was bitten was using an illegal chokehold on Tyrone.
Here's the question that, invariably, undoubtedly will be asked. Why didn't he just comply?
And the answer is easy, is he's deaf. He couldn't understand what they were doing, and he had done nothing wrong.
What
Messing with him for no reason.
What kind of disabilities do you have?
He's deaf and he's got cerebral palsy.
Okay.
And I've been on the phone with him since Circle K.
How is he deaf if you've been on the phone?
Because I know sign language, that's why. I signed to him. That's why.
Nowhere in their police reports did the two officers document they were told about Tyrone's disabilities. But records do show when another cop went back to check store surveillance footage and talk to witnesses, none of it supported the white guy's claims. Remember, he told officers Tyrone assaulted him at the store. But there was no evidence of any assault. Store employees say the white guy was the one causing problems, getting aggressive, laying on the floor, and refusing to leave. In fact, store employees told police Tyrone tried to get him out of the store and eventually just left. Now, this all happened on August 19th. That's 2 months after the Department of Justice released the results of its historic investigation into Phoenix PD.
It's almost like a single example that illustrates all of the problems highlighted in the DOJ's report.
Among many failures, the DOJ found Phoenix PD has a pattern and practice of racial bias, escalation, and not giving people a chance to comply before using force, excessive use of tasers, dangerous use of chokeholds, and violating the rights of people with disabilities.
It's hard for me to understand how the city can come out and say with a straight face that it is meeting the DOJ report head on when this man, Tyrone McAlpin, is being charged with assault on police officers for this incident where, the video tells the whole story.
Hey, get up! Stand up!
So still now, a month later, he's still facing charges for this.
That's correct.
He's in cuffs.
Now, as you just heard, Tyrone is still facing several felony charges. In fact, even though those officers are under internal investigation, they still just went into court to testify against Tyrone. And as you can see, our cameras were there, and a judge ruled there was probable cause for the case to move forward. Now, in our next report, you'll hear those officers on the stand, hear their justification for the arrest, and you'll also see some bizarre moments in the courtroom.
Very tough to watch. Thank you very much, Dave.
Now, if that was too intense for you all and you want to turn away, scroll away, this is the time. What I'm about to play now is the full 18-minute body cam footage. This is going to be the full 18-minute body cam footage of everything from when the officers responded, leading up to that, and after. All right? This is the and you remember the part where you saw that they went there to trespass the white guy. And when they went to trespass him, he just said he was assaulted, pointed towards the black guy, and they just left and went towards the black guy. And then we're going to play the part from the courtroom where the preliminary hearing took place. So, if I warn you, that's from the. This is hard to watch. Let's get it.
I just broke my drink I paid for.
You didn't talk to no employee?
They just wanted 14 off.
Okay.
I was left with the guys that wanted to assault me were right here. Okay. Where did they go? The first one went that way. And
Thank you. Hey, you guys just want this guy to trespass? Okay.
You're saying that's the guy that assaulted right there, with the backwards hat on, yep. What's he gonna say if we go talk to him? He was, you can watch the video, he was standing right outside of the door. He pushed me inside the store, and he was telling me, get out, get out, get out. I'm saying, I'm not going out there, there's other people trying to
alleging he assaulted you, do you want him to go to jail?
Yes, he said put his hands on me, I felt violent, and he was pushing me outside the door, and he was standing outside the door opening and saying,
That dude.
Why didn't you wait here first?
The black guy?
yeah.
Hey, buddy, stop where you're at. Have a seat. Tase him, tase him, tase him. Get your hands behind your back. Get your hands behind your back. Get your hands behind your back, asshole. Get your hands behind your back. Hold him. Move, move. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. Ultra X-ray taser, deploy more units. Hand behind your back. Hand behind your back. One more. Hand behind your back. More. Hand behind your back. Hand behind your back. Hand behind your back. Now. Hand behind your back. Okay. Go through X-ray, getting him in the cuffs now. Little fire. Oh, I broke my hand. Did he bite you? Yeah. Taser deployed, and
Yeah, do this over an
I think that's about it. Stand by. Search. Other side. Hi. I'm good now, thanks. Fuck. All right, stand them up. Hey, get up. Stand up. He is, but he's in the cuffs. He's not being combative, he just doesn't want to go in the car.
My husband, he was on the phone with me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he's under arrest for assault on a police officer.
What happened?
He assaulted somebody at the Circle K. You can wait over there, I'll tell you right about it.
Yeah,
In a little bit.
The whole time he didn't assault nobody.
Okay. Well, he did now.
You guys arrested him and he's got a disability.
Unlock your car, bro.
What arrested him for no reason.
What kind of disabilities do you have?
Have someone get a rip out here and
Okay.
And I've been on the phone
Are you on
with him
Telegram?
since Circle K.
How is he deaf if you've been on the phone?
Because I know sign language, that's why. I signed to him.
disability.
That's why.
What kind of medical conditions you got, man?
You
got a
guys
bag?
been messing with him for no reason.
You got a bag?
Circle K.
Okay.
You guys went in there because some guy was fucking him in that Circle K. And you guys arrested him? I've been on the phone with him the whole time.
Someone bit me.
What?
What?
Career safety. This parking lot is being recorded.
Yeah, he doesn't need to know.
Having a feel, and I took a bit.
Oh, man.
You broke it now?
I don't know. Kind of feels funny, and my knuckles now smaller. Okay. No. I wish my body cam didn't fly off.
Can you run?
I'm glad you know that for a fact. Yeah, want to stop them? They started fighting. Okay. Is this yours or his? That is not mine. That is his. He had it in his hand. This is mine. Yeah, did you get your body camera? Yeah. I tested it this morning.
That far coming for you, okay?
You guys are bogus. And I made him tell him the whole time.
Alright.
And I need your guys' bad number too, please.
8275.
And your name?
Harris.
And what is your name, sir? Badge number?
11787, Sue. That's it. Well. Yep, it's because he assaulted me. He also bit me.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all because that was our video.
What's that look like?
You can just leave it on the side for now. I don't know how he's going to be.
Y'all keep messing with him for no reason. And he's got a disability. Y'all shot him 5 times.
Oh, in the back somewhere.
Say something?
Bit me. Yeah, he bit you. He bit Sue.
Alright, check this out. I can't
Come here, bitch. We got fire 24 coming, right?
Baby, I'm here.
Okay, there might be some intoxication of some sort. Can you tell them to step it up, please?
He has a disability.
That better be them.
I'm here, babe.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm here. Look at me.
Ma'am, hey, ma'am, over there on the sidewalk. Or you're going to go to jail. Over there on the sidewalk. Back up more.
I am backing up.
See that line in front of you?
I am backing
That's good. Thank you very much. If you come over here across that line, you're going to be arrested. You understand? Okay, you've received a warning. I'm going to assume you understand.
You good, brother? I got ready.
Does he have any belongings, like my phone?
He has some belongings, yes.
Who's in the worst shape?
Probably him.
You got bit.
I got bit, yeah.
Is there another officer too, or just one?
He might have broke his hand, maybe. Yeah.
department, all right? You leave them alone.
Let them check you out, okay? Behave with the firefighters.
So what happened?
He can't hear you.
He got into a fight with somebody at the Circle K. Came over here, he started fighting with us. He bit the officer.
He signed, yes. That's why I was walking over there.
Freaking out. Got stuff on him or something. He got tased too. Okay.
That's why I was apparently you guys tasered him and he has cerebral palsy. Good job.
Okay, well, he bit me. He should never attacked us.
Don't even bother with your pedal.
Let me explain something to you all, right? The cops, the Circle K workers sent them to the white guy that they called to trespass. It wasn't that them telling him that they have the right, that they didn't know what the cops did. They sent them to the white person, the white boy that was outside, that was trespassing. They went to him. They sent him to him. I just get irritated sometimes. They sent him to him. The white boy just arbitrarily said squirrel to them, basically, and said he got assaulted outside the store. This is not on the workers. The workers sent them to the right person. The person they went to then turned around and deflected and sent them and said, "Oh, I got attacked out in the parking lot." He went that away. And the police stopped what they were doing with him and went and jumped this man.
Real quick, he got bit by this guy.
Okay. Do you want me to wrap it up for you, or you want to take pictures first?
Yeah, I'll probably wait till pictures and
Okay,
stuff.
let me know. I'll wrap it up for you.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take your temperature here, okay?
He's deaf, so I don't know if he's gonna.
We probably gotta wait for pictures first for the 245.
Got there.
Yeah, he might have broke his hand, maybe.
Okay. This officer?
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I don't know if that's
Because we've only got the one ambo right now. We'll get another one for you.
No.
You gonna drive yourself over there?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Do you want us to evaluate? Do you want us to check you out, do a chart or anything? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, me and Jorge will worry about the 245 or stuff like that, so.
Did you all get his name?
Yeah. Does he have a law?
I didn't find anything.
No?
Hey, bro, let me get you. Go back to the station. I'll meet you over there, and I'll do all the 31 on that. What's up?
I'll call boss real quick.
Yeah, actually. Just call boss, let me know code 4 for you and,
Yeah.
Yeah, 12/8/1989. So I love the guy on that.
On the regular. 4x4. I'm gonna.
708. 810. That's mine. And my name is Jackie so basic. I don't know why. If I'm in here, we will do it. And I don't need his stuff disappeared.
I just explained why the store clerks are not outside yelling. That this is okay. Let me try again. The store clerks called police that trespassed the white man that was outside. The police went to the white man that was outside to trespass him. The white man deflected and said when he came outside of the store, he was attacked. They didn't call the police there because he said he was attacked. They called the police there to trespass the white guy. The white guy, when the police went to them, he said he was assaulted outside the store. The store clerks are inside the store. they called the police on the guy outside, and the store clerks didn't know what was going on either until police came back. And that's when they turned over the video camera footage and showed that the white guy was lying because they didn't know that the police were going after the black guy because they sent him after the black guy for trespassing. They assumed something else was going on, and that's why they jumped the black guy. They didn't know that the white guy had told them that the black guy attacked him until after the fact.
Right, cancel. We got a couple other units, but we got a battalion chief coming. Everybody else. None of you guys are with us.
I don't think so.
Okay.
None of us are going to do transport.
No.
No.
Make the copy for me while you're ready.
Camera right here.
I don't care. I was outside.
All right, sounds good.
Y'all were chasing in from Circle K thinking it's the guy that they call the cop sign. Y'all jumped on it right here. I was like,
I'll take the 245. It looked like a worse than it was before.
You all right, dude? Yeah. Do you have any strikes? Oh, yeah. Okay. My camera went flying, so he probably has the better view. Cool.
I got all the paper. I got everything. Yep.
Any witnesses you need to contact?
Just the one here, but
I don't. We might want to see video. But see, it's new, so their video should work.
Get someone in on the video, please.
I was gonna take pictures of him at the station. That way I got the whole thing, or do you want me to do it here?
Let's get it before it's...
Okay.
Like, I just want photos real quick. We'll get better photos.
Okay, let's go to the car. We're gonna do this again at the station. I just want to get the...
Yeah, before...
Yeah. This is your hand. Other hand.
Yeah, brother?
See face. And then turn whole body.
Oh, there's a phone number on that camera. I'm going to call, see if he has it. Yeah. Is that really good? Did you see this?
Okay. Because I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, because I was on video call with him. That's how I knew he was here. Y'all need to focus. He's got a disability, y'all shot him. That's not right. Y'all chased him.
Now, before we get into this is what has happened since. I told you yesterday he went to a preliminary hearing. And now we're going to get into what happened at the preliminary hearing. The NAACP is involved now. And understand, this is going to, how do you make a bad situation worse? You're about to see.
But first at 6, the NAACP, ACLU, several disability rights organizations, and multiple state leaders are all demanding action because of an ABC 15 investigation.
We exposed the video showing 2 Phoenix police officers immediately going after a deaf man with cerebral palsy, then repeatedly punching and tasering that man. Tonight, our investigation into this case continues.
You'll hear directly from the 2 main officers involved, but before we get to that, we again want to show body camera footage of this full incident, so consider this a warning. The video lasts about a minute. It is violent and it is difficult to watch.
Everybody stop where you're at. Have a seat. Taser, taser, taser. Get your hands behind your back. Get your hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. Get your hands behind your back. Hold them. Move, move. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. Ultra X-ray taser deploy more units. Hand behind your back. Hand behind your back. One more. Hand behind your back. More. Hand behind your back. Hand behind your back. Hand behind your back. Now. Hand behind your back. Okay.
And that takes us to tonight's story. Phoenix says the arrest is now under internal investigation.
But that hasn't stopped those officers from going to court and making sure that man was officially charged with assault and resisting arrest. Here's ABC 15 Chief Investigator Dave Biscobee.
We were in court for what's called a preliminary hearing. Basically, that's a hearing to decide if there's enough evidence for charges to go forward. And that means the 2 main officers had to take the stand under oath.
Since that day.
This is Officer Benjamin Harris, and this is Officer Kyle Sue. They're in court to testify against Tyrone McAlpin. He's deaf, he has cerebral palsy, and he's here for a judge to decide if there's probable cause for his arrest on August 19th, 2024.
Have a seat.
So why did officers go after Tyrone? It's because a Circle K called about this guy. His name is Derek, and while Derek was being removed, he pointed at Tyrone walking across the street and claimed Tyrone had assaulted him.
And you didn't confirm Derek's story with any of the witnesses inside?
No. Why don't you wait here first?
Derek's story would end up being false, but in that moment, the officers decided to take Derek's word at face value, leave him, and go after Tyrone.
We already established that when you pulled.
Now do you understand what I was saying? The police officers came there for Derek. Derek deflected and just said the black man attacked me. That has nothing to do with what the workers did. The workers called to get Derek removed, and the police took Derek's arbitrary word that had nothing to do with what they were doing there, that some black man attacked him, and he pointed at Tyrone.
Into the parking lot and yelled at Tyrone. He didn't respond to you, correct?
Correct.
Did you check to see if he had headphones in?
I didn't notice.
Okay. Did you check to see if there was a reason why he couldn't hear you?
No.
Did you try to wave him down?
No.
During your initial interaction with Tyrone, you wrote that Tyrone raised his hands. Can you describe what that looked like?
Yeah, he raised them in a manner that appeared to me he was going to use them to punch me.
So he raised his hands like this?
No.
Can you demonstrate again, please?
Yeah, he raised them in a manner that appeared to be ready to strike me. So what that communicated to me is I was about to get assaulted, not that someone was giving up.
Now, is it possible that Tyrone raised his hand to protect himself from your punches?
That's not what his body language communicated to me.
I'm asking you if it's possible. Are you saying it's not possible?
I don't know if it's possible. So just underneath my ring finger at that.
If you've noticed the cast on Officer Harris's hand, it's because he broke his finger arresting Tyrone. And at the end of his testimony, the prosecutor asked Officer Harris how all of this could have been avoided.
The defendant had just put his hands down or said, I can't hear, or I need to write, or something like that. What would you have done?
I would have had him sit down, made motions with my hands to have him sit down, and then I would have gotten a pen.
You wouldn't have
paper and pen out for him.
You wouldn't have punched him in the head and knocked him to the ground and tasered him?
No.
Now, let's get to the testimony from Officer Sue.
As I was going to pull in the park, I looked over and observed the defendant actively swing at Officer Harris, and then as I was putting my car in the park, I jumped out and ran over there.
Sue's body camera fell off, but during the arrest, he testified that Tyrone bit his hand.
Can you hold up your hand high so we can see, show the judge exactly, point where it was that he bit you?
Right there.
Okay.
There's no body camera footage that shows the bite. And here's what happened when Tyrone's attorneys asked the officer to go through the video.
Anywhere in there? Nope.
And stop at the moment when he says Tyrone bit him.
Right there.
The moment Officer Sue pinpointed is when the other officer's camera pans up and you can't see Tyrone. The defense asked Sue if it was possible that he cut or scraped his hand on Tyrone's mouth or the ground while choking him. But Officer Sue said no and denied using a chokehold.
Is that your arm there, directly around his throat?
The one on the bottom?
Yes.
That's my arm.
Okay. And that is around Tyrone's throat, correct?
Looks too hard to tell.
So how is this not a chokehold?
When I think of a chokehold, I think of two arms from the same person.
In a bizarre moment, the prosecution then got back up to prove Tyrone bit the officer, first showing pictures, then asking for a demonstration.
Would you open up your mouth and stick your wrist in your mouth?
Say again?
Could you open your mouth and stick your wrist in your mouth? And then pull it out to the side? Did you just cut your arm?
Objection, Your Honor. This is extremely speculative and really doesn't.
Overruled. I just watched him do it. That's not speculation. Just demonstrating.
Officer, did you just cut your arm when you did that?
I did not.
At this time, I do believe the state has presented sufficient evidence to establish.
In the end, the judge found there was probable cause for the criminal case to move forward against Tyrone. The judge didn't give an explanation, but the ruling means Tyrone still faces felony charges of aggravated assault and resisting arrest.
Mr. McAlpin, this will conclude today's hearing. I'll have you stepped over to my bailiff just to sign for those release conditions, but good luck to you moving forward in your case.
Again, Phoenix is not commenting on the arrest because they say it's under investigation. But this case is a sensitive one. We've learned the DOJ is now aware of the case. And it's important to remember that the arrest happened after the DOJ released its historic investigation into Phoenix PD. And the feds say they want to put the department under federal oversight. I'm Investigator Dave Biskobing, ABC 15, Arizona.
Dave's investigation will continue next week. We're going to have reaction from and demands from the NAACP, ACLU, and leading disability rights organizations.
If you would like to.
So, yeah, all that. This is what we talk about. And do you understand that this is so reminiscent to me of Elijah McClain? This is so reminiscent to me of Elijah McClain. Hold on, you all. Let me change this over so I can hear all the excuses that I'm about to hear. Because I know I'm about to hear the excuses. GCPR, I'll catch you all tomorrow. Because this conversation is too long to cut off somewhere. So I'll catch you all tomorrow night. Thank you for joining me. Peace on GCPR. Yeah, because I want to cuss. I want to cuss unrestrictedly. So, who's first? Who up first? This is what I talk about. This is a blatant case of racial discrimination and white privilege. When you get to the point Sound is low. Probably me. Hold tight. Dun 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 dun. All right. Is that better? Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Where is? Mm, keep going. We good over there, Jazzy? Are you good over there? Okay. Turn this one this way. Are we better? Are we better? I don't know what it is then. It's like, all right, way better, still low. Still low in some places, way better in other places. Da 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 da. I've turned the equalizer all the way up. All right. I turned the equalizer all the way up, and I put situation both mics closer to my mouth than I like mics being. But anyway, this is a prime example, right? This is a prime example of what when we talk about the intersectionality of police profiling, racial discrimination, and white privilege. You look at this. The police were originally called to the Circle K to deal with Derek. To deal with Derek. That's why they were called. They told them, white guy is in here and will not leave. They didn't say black guy. They didn't say black guy. They said white guy is in the store and will not leave. They get there. They go to the white guy that they were called on. The white guy that they were called on starts talking to them and says, "Hey, the black guy over there just jumped me in the parking lot." That's what the white guy told them. And the white guy that they were called on, they left. And then you can see police officer Harris jump out of his car and immediately jumps Tyrone. He immediately jumped him. He didn't. He said, "If you would have told me he was deaf and all that, I wouldn't have jumped." He did not give him a chance. He immediately jumped him. They punched that man in the head 10 times and tased him 4 times. Yeah, I did it because I want to cuss and I didn't want to pay a fine. Yeah, I can't pay fines and feed those who happen to be homeless and take care of Bella all at the same time. I don't need to eat, but yeah, they do. So I couldn't pay a fine, and I think it's unfair to keep getting the owner of the station to pay my fines because I want to cuss. Um, yeah, I just don't understand how people are not seeing this. And understand, this is the same Phoenix department, police department that shot the man in the wheelchair coming out of a store accusing him of shoplifting. You shot a man in a wheelchair. You sh- Let that sink in. The officer thought the guy in the wheelchair was a threat to him over shoplifting. The I can't even make this make sense. It just sounds so bizarre. It's like you thought the guy in the wheelchair was a threat to you. What was he? What kind of wheelchair did he have? Professor Xavier's floating wheelchair that he was a threat to you? For you were called there for shoplifting. You know it's bad when workers at stores are saying, I don't even want to call the police anymore over these things because they wind up killing people. This man was minding his own black ass business. He was signing with his wife on FaceTime the entire time. Video of it. She got the whole video of him. He didn't assault anybody. And then the laughter of the law enforcement officials that you hear mocking him. mocking him. The girl said, "You hear the EMT? Oh, don't worry about her. She don't leave. Don't respond to her." She trying to tell you the man deaf. He can't answer any of your questions because he can't hear them. He's deaf. He has cerebral palsy. She's trying to tell you the medical conditions you need to know to treat him. Oh, don't mind her. Don't pay her any attention. Like somebody is shouting out medical conditions because they want to distract the EMTs. What? The Derek guy was savvy enough about race relations to get the host the heat off of him and some random brother. Right. Derek was that savvy because he knows the way the system works. He knew that they would believe him and go investigate before dealing with him. Derek had no scars on him, by the way. Derek have no scar. They had no scars on him. Police departments have admitted they have only hired people who are less intelligent so that they can be more trainable. Couple that with a high rate of military hires, and we've seen couple that with a high rate of military hires who usually don't finish because of some um, disciplinary problem that they had. It, all these officers that we see lately get running afoul of their own law enforcement officials have had military training. I mean, we're in the military, but they had disciplinary problems, and they were still hired by these police departments. Look at Sonia Massey. Look at the officer that unalived her, murdered her. No, Rain, I can't go with that. I can't go with that, Rain, because um, I know the input that military service has mattered to. Military service was one of the reasons that during the long hot summer of 1919 to 1923 that the black man was fighting back against the racism he encountered when he came home after, you know, I see that, but most of the time you all are judging it by the standard of those who are sociopaths anyway. If they didn't go into the military, when they were still going to be sociopaths, they still suffer from racism. When you look at the history of why the civil rights movement in 1919, because there have been several of them, but that's why the white men were even more upset with black men because they came home after fighting and they knew how to fight for their communities. And that's why the long hot summer of 1919 to 1923 that saw the burning down of Tulsa and the Rosewood, Elaine, Arkansas, and places like that. Um, I was in the third grade in 1993. Yeah, I don't want to tell you I was already graduated from high school. Yeah. So we are seeking, and I also want to say this, right, because I understand the importance of this election that's coming up, but I need you all to stop deflecting everything to this election. Like when these things happen, these things are that's because you all only associate MAGA with the political movement instead of the racism that has always been below the surface of this iceberg. Um, this um, think about James Byrd in Jasper, Texas. That was not Donald Trump was nowhere near office. Think about the fact that you do have when we talk about, and I'm not even talking, and I can divide it up. I can talk about the police brutality that accompanies somebody like Elijah McClain, and then I can talk about the civilian racism of somebody like Trayvon Martin. I can talk about Tamir Rice. These things don't matter who's in office. They matter that racism is hard baked and woven into our system, and black people are judged by a different standard because of the color of our skin when it comes to the former slave patrols that have evolved into the police of today. And you can't, and people want to deny the validity of that. But at the end of the day, the statistics speak for themselves when we're talking about unarmed, and motive. Like I don't understand when I say something like this happens to um Throne here or Elijah McClain or even the white gentleman Aaron versus that was in a similar condition as George Floyd. Poor white people and black people, I don't understand why you all don't unite like Fred Hampton tried to tell you all, because you all suffer the same things, but you all just need faces at the bottom of the well to feel good about your place. But the white racist bourgeoisie does not care about you either, because you're next on the list after they finish enslaving or masticating or eradicating their immigrant problem, which is just another way of saying the black and brown problem in this country for them. So there's a lot to be said when I watch poor white people defending a position that doesn't even include them. They just made you all. It's just like the overseer during the plantation days. They allowed you to be overseer, but you still couldn't come in the big house for long periods of time. But you thought you all were better than in the slaves because you were the overseer. And that's a lot of times when I hear poor white people talk about, I don't have white privilege. Yeah, you do still have white privilege. You still have white privilege because you're not using it in service to the liberation of all people. You're just using it to make sure you don't become the faces at the bottom of the well. Yeah, 1953, Miss D wouldn't surprise me if she was both a Trump supporter and KKK. What's up, dresses and swords? Greetings and salutations. Greetings and salutations. So that, and I want you all to just get a grip on that. Because if you all take that approach, you all are going to believe all this magically ends on November the 5th. And it didn't start on January the 6th, and it's not going to end on November the 5th, because this is still a aspect of the society we live in, the racism that we deal with. So understand that. I understand that, everybody wants to run and say, you know, Trump is just using the cesspool that is racism in this country to facilitate their cause, right? But they're just taking advantage of the fire. They didn't even start it. And just because whatever happens on November the 5th, it's not going to end overnight. This the fight against racism and oppression is a fight that requires constant vigilance, and you must defeat this monster over and over again, because the minute you stop fighting it is the minute it becomes bigger and it takes more. We had an opportunity um, to end this after doing Reconstruction, and we didn't. We didn't. We had a chance to end it, end it properly, if we would listen to El Haj Malik Shabazz and Fred Hampton, but instead we listened to the turn the other cheek philosophy. You're not going to put out the fire of racism with kindness. You're not. There's no such thing as killing it with kindness or killing it with delusion. So you all, I advise you all to learn quickly the difference in your political time. Time. Oh, I already signed out. I signed out of GCPR. I let the music play because I knew I was going to wind up cussing a lot, and I knew I was going to cuss a lot. They won't catch some of it. So they usually, if I just cuss in spurts on there, they don't catch it. But I was going to go on a tirade. So yeah, I was going to go on a tirade, and I was like, yeah, I know they'll catch that. Need a man like T in office? No, you don't even like me, oil boss. Oil boss, you don't even like me, and say you need a man like T in office. You don't want me in office because I want to create something that works for everybody. I want to create. I want to dismantle this entire system and create something that works for everybody. But I can't get you all to see that, because you all think, oh, why do you always talk about race? Why does race always have to be talked about? I admire your dedication. That's a backhand compliment, but I'll take it. I admire your dedication, even though I don't agree with any of your points. I vote TNathan as vice president. No, I don't. I think our system does not work for us. I think our system does it just tolerates us. And I want to create something that works for us. The idea of our government should be to protect us, but not to enslave us. And our government has a way of um, trying to legislate morality when that's not possible. Um, we shouldn't have to legislate the morality that tells us that it's not it's wrong to kill somebody just because you felt like it today. It's wrong to oppress somebody just because you needed a new house, so you stepped on their neck to get it. That should be something that should have to be. Dr. King said, I can't make a man love me. I can't make a man love me, but I we can pass laws to stop him from lynching us. And that sounds so good, doesn't it? We can pass laws to stop them from lynching us. There are already laws that are supposed to be stopping people from lynching. There are already laws that we should not be um, thrown off of bridges. There are already laws that we shouldn't be suspended. And I'm talking about there are already laws for that. And it still fails because we're not addressing the cultural the we're not addressing the culture that we have. Listen to this, right? Ask yourself: there are laws against going into schools and shooting them up in every country on this planet. What's so different about the United States? What is so different about the United States and our problem with gun violence? There is more gun violence in this country on a regular basis that people die from than combat zones of active war. And nobody wants to admit we have a problem. And anything you try to talk about, we have a problem. Even I'll be talking about gun violence, and the first thing I hear somebody say, well, the Second Amendment, I was like, shut the fuck up. Do you understand? Do you understand? Where can I put it? Do you understand? I literally have a copy of this within arm's reach at all time when I'm on live. Because sometimes I have to check and make sure that I'm not delusional. That I'm not delusional. I wasn't talking about the Second Amendment. I'm gonna tell you, I was a criminal, and I had more respect for guns than most of the people who think somebody trying to take their Second Amendment rights away. Pancakes, F1, F1. Yeah, one difference is right. Right. Dalen Roof. Dalen Roof shoots up a church and nobody, and instead of talking about how we can stop it, everyone's talking about what the Second Amendment. Second Amendment doesn't stop bullets, and I hate to break it to y'all. I ain't even seen it manufacture any. If we can't have common sense, if we can't talk about common sense legislation, because the actual intent of the Second Amendment, I hate to break it to you all, is no longer valid. Because if the government of this country turns against you, you're gonna need to more than a AK-47 in your truck rack to stop it. Because that's literally what the Second Amendment says. The Second Amendment says that the organizing and the maintaining of a well-armed militia. It doesn't say anything about hunting. That's what I be telling people. They be like, "Well, we have a right. I just got my gun for hunting." The Second Amendment. Someone showed me in the Second Amendment where it says something about hunting. You show me that. If the United States wanted to if they wanted to make a law against hunting, you couldn't use the Second Amendment to validate your defense of it. That's how I be knowing people don't be knowing what the Second Amendment says. I want to know how a 9 millimeter can stop the evil weather machine. Pirate has entered the chat. French toast. Yeah, I know. I know. But I just don't understand that. And you see these things, right? And I see people making these arguments. That's why I tell you all. Some of y'all are not. Not you all. I know all of you all are ready to handle any conversation that anybody in these live panels you all have would have. But some people don't want to even point out that stuff. I'll be listening to arguments about I just be scrolling and I'll look into the live and it never fails. Somebody talking about, well, they want to take our guns away and are they gonna have to pry for my cold dead hands? I said that's possible. I mean, if the government decided to turn against you and they had the power of the armed forces, your cold dead hands would be just fine for them to pry your gun out of. And these people are the same people who don't realize that if you want to even talk about a well-armed militia, do y'all have any aircraft carriers? Do you have any F-14? You mean it's all right to regulate the ownership of an F-14, but not an AK-47? You mean it's okay to regulate the ownership of? I'm not even gonna go nuclear. I'm just gonna say the Moab. Anybody know what the Moab is? It's all right to regulate the ownership of the Moab, but we draw the line at you taking away my automatic machine gun that is able to fire 100 rounds because those rabbits I be hunting. I got to make sure I get them. I'm gonna tell somebody if you got to fire 100 rounds to hit a target, you don't need a gun. Nobody in your genetic line needs a gun. Nobody in your genetic makeup needs to ever fire a gun if you gotta use a rifle on automatic mode that literally is gonna almost melt the barrel of the gun to hit a rabbit. That's your excuse. I gotta go hunting. I'm a hunter. Okay, okay. I just be looking at people, and they be acting like these are valid arguments. People be like talking about, and they be like, "Yeah, the Second Amendment protects my right, and I'm a hunter." I'm like, how are those two mutually inclusive? But no, I just listen to people have these arguments back and forth and ask me why I don't debate people. I was like, I don't debate people because you all don't have debates within the realm of reality of the information that you all are talking about. How did you all make those two synonymous? That's in a true debate, that would have been a violation. I wouldn't have even had to make an argument. I would have automatically won the debate if that's your stance. All I would get up and say is, that's the stupidest shit I heard since they opened their mouth the last time. Debate one. Go home with the trophy. Y'all sit and y'all argue about things and you argue about them from a point that both of y'all look like fools arguing about them. You look like a fool arguing with somebody about their right to have a gun to go hunting when the Second Amendment, and then they mention the Second Amendment and you all let them get away with it and have an argument around it. Well, we just want background checks. What does that have to do with hunting and the Second Amendment? But best thing I can access is a gallon. And this is the thing. I'm not saying and in no time do I say you shouldn't have a right to own a gun for your protection. Just call it that. Let's just call it that. But you also need to comply because you can have a car. You can't drive it without a license and you have to do what? See, we let people own guns that don't know how to take them apart, never been to a gun range. You should have to qualify to carry a gun. Yeah, I said it. If we're gonna, we just giving our druthers, you should have to qualify. And if you're committed to carrying it, it should be no problem for you to learn how to fire it properly, how to store it properly, how to make sure your children don't get into them and take them to school and shoot up their classmates. Yeah. Is this so hard? What is so unrealistic about asking for those things? I can ask for all those things and not mention the Second Amendment. I can talk about all those things without talking about the Second Amendment. When I see people say, I'm a Second Amendment, I uphold the Second Amendment, I say, how many more other, I ask them, name me the rest of the amendments to the Constitution. They look at me like I'm crazy. They'll start talking about freedom of speech, freedom. I said that's all one amendment. That's the First Amendment. All that you named is the first one. You care to name me? You care to name me any others? Especially, I say, hey, what's the amendment that gave women the right to vote? What does the 13th and the 14th Amendment promise? They never get it right. They never get it right. But they always get the Second Amendment and they don't get that right. Are we tired yet? Are we tired every other week of turning the television on to a school shooter who got somehow came in possession of a AK, an automatic weapon that shoots 100 rounds in 60 seconds? Are we tired of that yet? Are we tired of the excuses that we keep getting at the every time we're sending thoughts and prayers to another family that thought it would never happen to them that have lost their children? Because I don't think we're tired yet because we're not doing anything about it. We are letting, see, let me break something down to you all, right? This Constitution that a lot of people like to quote, it doesn't elect leaders. We are a representative government. We are a representative government. Those people you all elect and put in office, they're supposed to represent the will of the people. So when the people tell them we don't want this, they're not supposed to argue back. They're not supposed to tell us why it's not possible. They're supposed to say, okay. That's why I don't believe in democracy and the way we run it in this country. I don't believe that democracy was ever meant to govern 380 to 90 million people with such vast differently interests. I don't. I don't think I don't think a woman should be, I was listening to JD Vance. Tomorrow night I think I'm gonna play the interview that JD Vance gave. When he basically says he's in favor of looking into that if Ohio or some state bans abortion, right? And if a woman tries to listen to this. So if Ohio bans abortion and a woman is going to go for an abortion in another state, he shouldn't be able to do that. So the natural thing I'm thinking is, how are you going to stop her? How do you stop a woman from leaving a state where abortion is illegal to travel to a state where abortion is legal? How do you do that? I'll tell you how, but I'm wondering how do you all think you accomplish that? Anybody? They say they were going to make us do a piss test and enforce travel ban. They got to do something more. Well, okay, yeah, the piss test is part of it because you would basically have to take a pregnancy test to leave the state. Think about that. You would have to take a pregnancy test to just leave your state. You're not going out the country. That's what it would mean. Another way to humiliate and control women because men are not going to have to take pregnancy tests. Men are going to be unencumbered in their travel. You're going to have to arrange to take a pregnancy test to leave the state with abortion, to travel to a state without abortion. Just imagine that. That's what that's the only way to enforce that law. It's interesting how men think they don't affect them. It is. Tell y'all stop having sex with them, they'll learn real quick. I'm telling, and I say that only half flippantly because I also realize that it would also lead to more violation of women for to do that. So I'm not saying that without the serious understanding of that. But yeah, because the men will have to keep those kids if they didn't want to. No, they won't. See, that's another thing, Jazz. They don't care about the child after it's born. The mother, the mother of is forced to carry a child to term. They're not talking about making men. See, that's the thing. That's another thing. And I tell you, this is all about control because these laws are not coupled with anything that is about family. They're not talking about the responsibility of taking care of the child. They're not talking about the man staying there. They're talking about women forced to have child. They're not talking about marriage. They're not talking about any of that. They're talking about forcing women to have children that they have said they don't want. What is male just male? What's funny? What's funny? What did I say that was funny, Mel? Best of luck and absolutely no support. Right. It rains. Shut up. It rains. Right. So this is what I'm saying. So when I hear these things like national abortion bans or abortion bans in states that extend to other states, you're basically on the slippery slope of one state gets to decide whatever you how you travel. Oh, okay. Meant to reply. I don't. Here's some imaginary help and insincere sympathy. Right. Exactly. It's like, and that's why I tell you, I was. You all understand? Trump gave a rally this weekend, right? I know y'all don't watch Trump rallies, and I wish I didn't have to, but I do care about. I do talk about when I talk about issues. You're gonna know I talk about them from the perspective of act. So Trump gave a rally this weekend. It was a town hall. I apologize. It was a town hall meeting that Trump had this weekend. The questions he took 5 questions. 5 questions. There was a medical emergency in the audience, and for the next 45 minutes, if it was not more, I kind of got like sidetracked waiting for some more questions. For the next 45 to 50 minutes, you know what Trump did on stage? He was basically the DJ of this limited music catalog that they can play at Trump events, and they just danced and sung at a town hall. And his thing was, I gotta play it for you all so you all can appreciate the indie. Who wants to hear us answer questions all the time? Let's just sing and dance. It's a town hall meeting. People literally come there to ask questions of the candidates. And I'm like, this man is going to be the 47th president of the United States, and this is just all right for people. This is all right. They don't have a problem with it. We're sitting around here talking about he's a threat to democracy, and also in the same breath saying, "But let's talk about it." I don't get it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Threats to democracy or threats to democracy. There is the either are or they're not. And the music was trash. No, not all of it. They played YMCA, which was not missed on me. That they played the Village People. Oh, no musician wants their music to be played. That's some. And then he goes and there's people out in the middle of nowhere. Right. He's and they making excuses already. The trucking the bus company played that so close, so they paid them so bad, right? They say we didn't get the rest of our money. You got one way traffic. You didn't get a ride back. But you know what? I got a question. I got a question for black people that support Trump, right? And always talking about Kamala Harris doesn't come out and just say, I'm going to do this for black people. What's Trump going to do for y'all? That's what I'm start asking. When they start having these arguments I'm a black Trump supporter and Kamala Harris, it doesn't say anything about what she going to do for black folks. What Trump tell y'all he was going to do for y'all? That's why I seriously might come to somebody's live just to ask that question before I start cussing. But what Trump promised y'all? I want to ask. I want to ask black people for Trump that. I want to ask gay people for Trump that. I want to ask Latinos for Trump that. I want to ask all of them what Trump gonna do for your demographic since you are so worried and so committed to Kamala Harris having to have a separate individual plan for black men. When I heard that, I'm gonna tell you, I could. Y'all don't want me as a campaign director. Y'all don't want me as a campaign director because they would have been saying, "Well, you need to go out and tell black men what you're gonna do." I'd have been like, "Y'all think y'all mad at President? Y'all think y'all mad at Barack Obama for how he talk? Oh, I have them weak ass motherfuckers wanting to meet me in downtown somewhere. Because when I finish talking about their misogynoir and um their broken relationship with some girl they knew in high school that they're gonna take it out on Kamala Harris, I would have made them cry. Any black person, Hispanic person, or LGBTQ person who supports Trump must have some serious deep self hatred. And you forgot to act. You forgot to add pick me. They're literally saying pick me, pick me. This is we want but see, this is the thing, Robert. This is the thing, and a lot of people don't like when I say this. I said there are ways to do things for the black community when you obtain office that don't require you to put a neon sign on you and saying those words that will make sure you don't get elected. Let's be realistic, right? You want somebody to commit political suicide instead of helping you in a manner that raises all. You can't live in this country and think stop the reparations conversation dead in its track. Okay, let's go on and stop that right quick, because until you all come up with a valid plan to mass reparations, it's not going to happen. I know people because most people are only talking about compensation. When I want to talk about reparations, compensation is literally the last thing I want to talk about because I want to get assurances. I want assurances in reparation. I want to address the trauma caused. And I don't even have to go, I'm not even going back to slavery. I'm just going about just being black in this country based on the trauma of the civil rights movement. I ain't even got to go back to 1865. I'm talking about people who are still alive. I'm talking about the wage gap that exists. You understand when I did the video and I was talking about per weekly average income that black families make $878 a week and white families make $1,350 a week, and that's just because of the color of skin. That's in across the same educational groups, the same background and upbringing. So when I give you all these stats, how do you all argue with the stats that meet the criteria of basically the two people standing there are equal in every way? The only difference is the color of the skin. How do you understand when we talk about STEM and when black women and black men go into STEM and black women especially, rarely few people in the department looks like them and they feel unwelcome because they are literally looked upon. Think about hidden figures, right? Think about hidden figures. Doris had to. How far did she have to go to use a restroom? And nobody ever paid attention to that until she wasn't where she was supposed to be for them. Think about that. Think about the fact that unemployment. We talk about just like Marjorie Taylor Greene said, the thing holding black men back are gangs. What? What? Systemic racism doesn't rank in this picture. Systemic racism that is reflected in the systems that we actually live under. Systemic racism that when people are arguing with you all about, and I be looking at them like, you just gonna act like it doesn't exist anymore because you don't want to acknowledge it? Y'all want to talk about a colorblind society? What is so? If we talk about colorblind, what does everything look like to you all? And black people, I ain't letting you all get away. I told you all, I'm still livid about people mad that Aaron Pierre is playing John Stewart. You mad at a brown man for playing a black man in a movie, a fictional character at that. That his blackness is relevant to the character. And John Stewart is, but Aaron Pierre is black. That just gets me. It gets me. It gets me. It does because I'll be like, what y'all just having this validation argument just a while ago over fictional characters, and now you got a fictional character that actually conforms to the blackness of the character, and you're mad because he's not dark enough. I did not know there were so many Green Lantern fans in the world. I did not know there was so many Green Lantern fans in the black community. I bet if I would have mentioned John Stewart on my podcast a month and a half ago, mm, they wouldn't even knew who I was talking about. But all of a sudden, all these people who can't show me a comic book, don't make me show you a comic book. Ah, that can't show you a comic book are sitting out here talking about who is playing. Just before y'all say, "Can I show you a comic book?" Right? Just before I show you, they say, "Can you show us a comic book?" Yeah, I can show you many comic books, right? Um, but don't can't show you a comic book out here really bent out of shape about what's up, nephew? About John Stewart being played by Aaron Pierre because there's too many of them. Like I said, if it was this many black people that knew what the Green Lanterns were, they would have been made a movie about them. John Stewart. I be telling people when I be hearing them arguing about I can't they're trying to wipe blackness out of Hollywood. They cast Aaron Pierre as John Stewart. Who told you that? Y'all say that in the world where Denzel Washington and Idris Elba exist. You say that in the world where what Denzel Jr. exists. You say that in the world where Tyler Perry putting black people in movies all the time. And I mean black people. Not touching this one. Yeah, I'm gone. I told you. I knew it was coming, Don. I knew it was coming because I just seen more of those videos, and I was like, I didn't. And the thing about it is, I went through these people's comments. I went through their videos that were talking about it. I didn't see any other comic book blurred related anything on their page, and they got the nerve. If blurs want to have that conversation between themselves, go ahead. But you know what? We're not going to be mad that a black man is playing a black man in a movie. You're playing a black man named John Stewart who has a lantern ring whose eyes are going to be green in the movie, I hope. And it's not a movie, it's a series. Let me get it right. It's a series. But then I was looking at, like I said, I put Boryega up, John Boryega up because people were talking about they wanted him to play the Green Lantern, right? I said, you know how much John Boryega would charge to be in a project? You know what his base salary is? It's 10 times higher than Aaron Pierre's, right? And you're talking about a series. I don't think people look at that. But like I say, this should be a successful series, right? This should be a real successful series as much as you all are so-called invested. And then I was like, name me one plot line from the John Stewart Green Lantern series. To me, does he have a ring right now? Answer me, does he have a ring right now? Does he have a ring? Is he the most powerful lantern right now? Green Lantern? What is the Green Lantern Corps? You just be asking these questions, these people that are bent out of shape. They can't answer them. I left comments in some of the videos that I didn't see it, and I'm still waiting on responses back. I probably got blocked. I probably need to go check and see if my questions are still in their comment section. But I think I've been blocked. He said he going to do these things, but he doesn't do it to make the country great. Robert, I need you to focus. Mm. I need you to focus, Robert. I understand, but I need you to focus. Yeah, You're running behind in the conversation, little bro. Yeah, you're running behind in the conversation. Extemporaneous, extemporaneous, extemporaneous comments do get my attention. They do get my attention, but most of the time they get my attention in a way that people don't want my attention. Robert is focused on Trump. Robert is obsessed, and that's not healthy. That's not healthy. I was going to address something you said earlier, Robert, when you talk about when we were talking about when we were watching the videos. It said it makes you not want to leave your house. You can't not leave your house because that means they win. And I say that with the most trepidation because I took the time to go through your page. I went through your page, Robert. Yeah, I went through your page, and I see who you are, and that's why I talk to you the way I do. I see who you are, and yes, I am scared for you. I'm scared for you. I don't feel like you have enough. I feel like your intellect and your concern is bigger than your circle is, and I don't think you. I know, and don't ever go to Dave and Buster's and flip flops again. You gotta be ready to fight. You can't be fighting in no flip flops. You're gonna kick your shoes off. You one of those fighters. You gonna kick them flip flops out and just get down. Oh, like you get down. Yeah, don't be wearing those flip flops to Dave and Buster's again. Yeah, something jump off in that, and you got flip flops on. Now I need you to be able to either run or fight, but I don't need you to be sliding around in flip flops. All right. Promise me no more flip flops at Dave and Buster's. Yeah, I could do that to it because I do. I went through your page and you you're a bright young man. You all those things. You're all those things. But your circle is not revolutionary, and you're not going to be able to contain it. Y- and this is coming from somebody who has just learned. Um, you cannot allow your obsession to blind you to the reality that your obsession is taking place in. All right, Donald Trump is a symptom of the problem. He is the tip of an iceberg, and defeating the tip of the iceberg only exposes more of the iceberg. And if we don't address it in its entirety, then we're not winning. We're just stalling. If you are, it's time to change rooms. What I miss? I got to go back up. Never be the smartest person in the room. Um, never think you're the smartest person in the room. There's a slight difference. uh, I never think I'm the smartest person in the room. I always assume that everybody in the room I walk into is smarter than me. I always assume that until they show me differently. Until you show me different. I always assume that I'm the least smartest person in any room I walk into. That's what I meant. You know what I meant. I always assume that. But I also assume I'm the worst fighter in the room I walk into also. I assume everybody is a better fighter than me when I walk into a room until it's time. I can't do anything about being the tallest person in the room, um, because I'm taller than average. But yeah, listen, you know I'm high as hell. Leave me alone. You know my words don't. My words don't word sometimes. I. So don't say what walks first. Don't say what. I'm tall as well. I have to duck often. Right. So we just gonna act like Uncle T is not the smartest person in any live he scrolls into. Yes, I do. I assume that. I assume when I walk up into a live, I'm gonna learn something new, or somebody gonna have a great argument, and I'll be like, "Wow, didn't think of it that way. I always assume that. I'll be waiting for those moments. Color Purple is tasting real good now. I said what I said, and I meant what I said, and I stand by what I said. My words do not words sometimes. Yeah, but that's good. Hey, Reese, have you and have you made any progress on that project you were working on with our friend in Florida? Have y'all have you all made any progress on it? Okay. They called me and they're the whole situation still has them shaken up, so they're processing it in the next move. So I told them make sure they contact you when they come up with the next move of how they want to proceed. Because at the end of the day, you know, we have to we have to think about it. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. There's a difference in how I handle situations that I know I can't get to in under 30 minutes and how I handle situations I know I can't get to. I have to fly or go. There's a difference. There's a whole difference. If something happens around me, I know I can depend on my actions. I handle them differently than I have to handle them at a distance when I have to depend on the actions of others. Stop crying in the waiting room. Start crying in the waiting room. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. Anybody got anything for me before we sign off for the night? I'll keep you updated on everything we're into and everything we're following. Um, canvassing, this week. Um, doing everything. I'm gonna start muting anyone that starts bringing up height. 6'4", 6'4", 6'4", 6'4". Ha ha! Can't mute me. Ha ha! Yeah. How many feet taller am I than you? Y'all go check out Dresses and Swords page. Dresses and Sword, I'm gonna put your business out there. Yeah, I'm gonna put your business out there before I go. Y'all check out Dresses and Swords page, right? She shared a video. She said some issues that are going on with her, and I really I wish I wasn't at wits end with so many projects because this is something that I feel we can solve relatively quickly. She has a GoFundMe page up. She has a GoFundMe page up. Y'all check out her last video. She's explaining the situation why her GoFundMe page up. I know you all are taxed because you all are trying to do so much, but if you could see fit to spare a couple of dollars for her GoFundMe page, it would greatly appreciate. She would greatly appreciate and would greatly help a sister that finds herself in a hard spot right now. So if y'all could go to Dresses and Swords page, take a look. I've reposted her video, but the TikTok algorithm. She was like, tell me she got like 800 views, but hasn't raised any money because it seems like we are happy to watch people's trauma, but we're not so much when it's time to engage in how do we solve it. Lieutenant Dan got to use the N word, got to basically almost set somebody on fire, and he raised 446,000 and got a new boat. And we act like we can't spare $5 for a sister in need, but they can spare thousands of dollars to perpetuate and to do the things they need to do. And yeah, he got a new boat. He's gonna get a new boat. Aiden is gonna get him the new boat, and he's still gonna have $46,000. And he gonna run into he still he give a half-ass apology for letting the N word fall out of his mouth so easily. Um, y'all know I don't care. I don't care if the boat sink his first time out. But what I'm trying to say is that if they can do it for theirs, we should be able to do a couple of $100 for our sister in need, right? That's all I'm saying. If they can come to bat for bigots and races, because bigots and races always put their mouth money where their mouth is. They always do. I look at some kick the eight in them. They got thousands of subscribers. They have thousands of subscribers. They put up a GoFundMe page, and I'm gonna tell you, white creators can do it on this app too. White creators on these apps can put up a GoFundMe page for somebody and raise thousands of dollars in a couple of minutes. We have to answer a whole series of questions that have nothing to do with the fact that I just can't get $5. We want basically when we talk about raising money, we have to have W-4 forms. We have to have plans drawn out. We have to be able to show the schematics of how this is going to be. That's why I don't do it. That's why I don't do it because I cuss and I be like, fuck it. I go rob a bank. Yeah, no, I will. I go rob a bank because it's easier than dealing with some of the questions that people that are supposed to be so progressive and so liberal and so willing to help want. And I know it comes from being burned before. Trust me, I understand it. I've watched it. But at the end of the day, there is no amount of burning that stops me from doing the thing I do. None. None. So if you all can, you got the van ready. I'm telling you, I can eat a couple of birds. We can go to Florida, and we can kill a couple of birds. I can stop in Tampa. I can stop in Sarasota. I can stop in Tallahassee. There are a couple of birds in Tallahassee in Florida. One Florida road trip we can solve. We can solve. I found out that fire solves a lot of things. I don't even need bullets. Fire solves a lot, and it's a lot of debris. It's a lot of dry debris just looking for a reason. All right, y'all. Let me go before I get myself in trouble, and I don't care. But like I say, y'all think about it. If you have a couple of dollars to spare during the middle of the month, let's try to help this sister um, get in somewhere. I'm sure she'll appreciate it. And the good thing is, I know she'll pass it forward also. All right. So you all have a great day. See you tomorrow at 10 o'clock Central Time, 11 o'clock Eastern Time. Y'all listen to all of Pretty Songbirds. Just remember. All right. And tomorrow we're going to spotlight our we're gonna spotlight our brother Young Merc Fire, listening to some of his cuts off his album that he sent me.